Oh, you found a fish. You found it. You found the fishy. That's a cat toy. You do know that, right? Yeah, it's your toy. So, Christmas is upon us, and for many people that means maybe adding a new family member to the family, like a pet. Whether it be a dog or a cat or a third type of pet, Christmas seems like a good time for that. But there are a few pointers that I hope you'll think about before getting a pet, whether that be a dog or a cat or something else. This is especially minded towards those of you who are thinking about getting a dog. And as you can see, I do have a dog. This is H. He is my working dog. If you are new to this place, my name is Catherine and I work as a military dog handler for the Danish Defense. Now, besides this teenager here, I also have 4 cats. 3 of them are adopted and the 4th one showed up at my ex-in-law's garage, and then he kind of just ended up with me. So, first point I wanted to chat about is money. Can you afford getting a new family member? It isn't as cheap as one would hope or think. You need to be mindful that you need to feed your dog or whatever you're getting a proper diet. You need to be able to buy a little bit of toys and some proper food. They need a proper diet, and you also, of course, need some treats. Now, in Denmark, for example, it is mandatory, or we have to, by law, have an insurance on our dog. So, can you afford an insurance on your dog? Can you afford the vet? Because vets are expensive, and they need a checkup at least once a year, and then there comes all the unforeseen stuff that really can cost a lot. Now, for example, H recently started to limp out of nowhere, and that could be a million different things. It turns out it was a foreign object that had started to irritate him between his paws, and it needed to be cut open and cleaned, and then I had to clean it. And he had to get antibiotics and painkillers, so he needed treatment. That treatment can be expensive if you don't have the money. So consider this. Do you have the money? Even before you think about which animal are you gonna get, can you afford it? Can you afford the unforeseen vet bills? Can you afford the food, the treats? Maybe you need to hire a trainer. That is also gonna be a lot of money, can be a lot of money. So all these things is really something to take into consideration even before thinking about what you're gonna get. Now, if that's something you feel like you can afford, next I really want you to think about your time and your energy. Now, like I said at the beginning of the video, I do work as a military dog handler, which means that I get to bring this teenager with me for work. It is the best job in the world, if you ask me. I absolutely love it, and I wouldn't trade it for anything else in the world. So, I don't have to worry about having to activate a dog that's been home alone all day, when I've been gone all day, and are probably pretty tired after a long day of work. But not everybody is as fortunate as I am. So, do you have the time and the energy to activate your dog when you get home from work? Because your dog has probably just been sleeping while you've been gone for 8, 10, 12 hours. And when you get home, it wants to do stuff. It wants to hang out with you. It of course needs to go out to pee and to poop, but it wants to hang out with you. It needs to get its tiny head activated, and you might not feel like doing that when you get home. Plus, it might be raining outside, or it might be very windy or very cold, and you don't really feel like going for a long walk with your dog. And that's just not an excuse. Your dog has to go outside even when it's raining, even when it's snowing, even when it's minus 13 degrees, even when it's very, very windy. Your dog needs to go outside for a proper walk to smell the leaves. And it probably needs its tiny head to be activated a little bit, because if it doesn't get activated, that's when we get all the destructive behavior. So all those unwanted behaviors and destructive behaviors, that more or less comes because a dog is understimulated. Now, of course, you do need to learn how to be bored, but that comes with time. You can't really expect your 6-month-old puppy or 1-year-old dog or 2-year-old dog to be okay with just doing nothing for the entirety of the day, that's unreasonable. Having a dog, it needs training. It of course needs home alone training, but it needs some mental stimulation. It needs socialization. We are working on, in this little home, him being able to walk with other dogs, and it is going fine so well. As I said earlier, I also have 4 cats, and it also took a little bit of time for the whole pack to get used to each other. But they're doing really, really well now together, so that's amazing. Next point I wanted to quickly chat about is the future. That is your future. Where are you gonna be in 3 years, 6 years, 10 years? This isn't just something you get for a year or 2 and then just put it up for adoption or leave it by a freaking parking lot somewhere because you're bored of it or because it got too old. This is a family member. And yes, they can be annoying and smelly and restless no matter how much you train them, but they are still a family member. You chose them, they didn't choose you. So, are you gonna stay where you are living right now for the next 10 years? Are you moving? Will you be able to bring your pet along when you move? Are you planning on having any kids? Does the pet even agree with kids, with small kids? A lot of things to take into consideration. So it's not just getting a new pet, it's a lot of responsibility. Because you are responsible for this creature. I'm responsible for that one, for this one, for the other 3 that's roaming around. And yeah, it's not always fun. It's not always fun not being able to sleep in or staying in bed because somebody has to go out to pee and poop, or else he's probably just gonna end up pooping on the floor. It's happened before. They are not doing it to be cruel or to be annoying. They're doing it because they are very, very pressured. And yeah, getting a dog, especially a German Shepherd, there's no longer a moment alone. He is with me everywhere I go. If I go from one room to another, he follows me. Of course, he is very, very young, so that's why he keeps following me. Once they get a little bit older, they might calm down a little bit and just keep an eye on you and where you're going, but he likes to stay with me at all times. And as you can see, he is not used to me sitting on the floor whatsoever, so that's a new image for him, which is why he's walking back and forth like he is. And yeah, like we always say at work, getting a dog and training it is an eternity project. You're never done training your dog. You're never done raising your dog, and that's part of the charm. He's only 16 months, so a lot of flies is flying around his head. But yeah, I hope these pointers help you a little bit when you are figuring out which pet or which dog you should get. And then one final thing, please adopt, don't shop. There are so many animals around the animal shelters that need a good new home. Like I said, all of my cats are adopted, well, minus 1, and H has been rehomed to me, just like my previous dog was, Hachi. And yeah. Getting a puppy is not always the easiest thing. Sometimes it's good to get a more mature and grown up dog. I hope this was helpful in some way. Please give this video a like if it was. Please consider subscribing if you are curious to see what life is like with a German Shepherd and what life is like as a military dog handler. Have a great day, and I will see you next time. Bye!